I've got something for you guys to listen to. I'm not going to be doing much talking during this video. This is taken from Way of the Master. If you don't check out their website, I'm going to link you to it at the end. So, enjoy.
I just did a story that you're not going to believe. Here's the deal. Charlie Gibbons did a story about, how do you pronounce it? Kanzi, the gorilla, in Des Moines, Iowa, at the Great Ape Trust. They are trying to tell us...
Bank for apes?
That's pretty well, and that's exactly it. They're trying to show how apes can communicate. Please, at any moment, you are free to call into this here program, 1-877-LAW-GRACE, and tell me I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. Okay, but here's how I see this story, and you're going to hear it in just a moment. When the monkey is born, they start teaching it what button makes what sound. And so, for instance, they'll say coffee, and then they'll have the monkey push the button, and that's the symbol for coffee, and then the monkey pushes the button, and it says coffee. Coffee.
Okay, we do that with my grandkids.
And do we not do that with dogs? Sit, and you push their backsides down. Sit, fetch, stay. And we would never go, oh, they're communicating with us. No, Pavlov. They just get trained and they learn it and they get a little surprise treat when it's all done and they mimic it. That's not communicating. Nevertheless, Charlie Gibbons gave it a go, setting this up, taking us to Des Moines, Iowa, to tell us that we are now just like the monkeys because they can communicate.
A little bit of conversation with our closest cousins in the animal world. We're talking about apes, who, it turns out, can do quite a bit of communicating of their own.
Hold it! Charlie, pushing a button to make a sound is not communicating.
Some fascinating new research is expanding what we know about animal intelligence.
I can't help but wonder how much grant money they got for this. They could have. I would have done it for half. Happily, I would have done it for half, and I would have used my dog, Charlie, and we would have just spent some time together, and I could have showed them how dogs can communicate too. It's called training. This is not communicating. This is training.
Had a little chat with the chimps.
The Great Ape Trust in Des Moines, Iowa is home to 7 bonobos and 3 orangutans. If you think Iowa might be a strange place for them, don't say it out loud. These apes understand English.
No! They don't. They've been trained. Furthermore, isn't it bonobos? He said bonobos or something?
Dog.
They're part of groundbreaking language research, where 26-year-old Kanzi and his colleagues are taught to communicate by pressing lexicograms.
That's not communicating.
More than 350 symbols that represent thoughts and objects.
Now, if they had walked up to the people and said, excuse me, if you could set up a system for me to push the button so that I could communicate to you my wants and needs, now we'd be talking. But this ain't talking.
Qualitatively, there is no difference between Kanzi's language and my language.
Actually, there is. They're pushing a button and a recorded voice is speaking. The monkey isn't walking around and saying, excuse me, I've got a flea right in the middle and I can't pick it off of myself and eat it. Would you grab that for me?
It's a matter of degree.
The key, the researchers say, is to start teaching them when they're young.
When I'm around them, we just kind of talk normally. I use my normal vocabulary, my normal voice.
How much? How much for the Great Ape Trust?
Sound beyond belief?
Yeah.
I sat down with Kanzi, the bonobo.
You, Kanzi, are the first ape that I've ever interviewed.
Okay, forget Charlie Gibbons.
This is a highlight in television right here.
This is the guy who's going to go home and say, honey, I sat there with my blue blazer on, and I tried to sound like I was having a chat.
Kanzi, can you show me an egg?
Egg.
You're giving me a dozen eggs. Thank you, Kanzi. That's great.
Surprise.
I'm very surprised.
Now, here's what they don't share with you on the little ABC report. Do you know why he kept pressing the button surprise? Because Kanzi the bonobo, or however you accent the syllable.
The talking ape.
He said they didn't share this, but you have to go look at the transcript of the whole deal, which I have in front of me. Surprise is the button that he pushes when he wants a chocolate treat. So the ape wasn't communicating, hey, aren't you surprised that I'm able to press the button egg, egg, egg 6 times? He wanted his reward.
Kanzi, can you show me M&Ms?
These conversations
M&Ms.
help scientists learn about these
It's not a
endangered apes
conversation!
from the apes themselves.
It also allows Kanzi to tell me if his stomach hurts, his head hurts, or if he's afraid or scared.
Coffee. Do you like coffee? Coffee. Coffee. Coffee's good, huh?
Kanzi understands English and the magic of decaf caramel macchiatos. After all, he does share 98% of his DNA with humans.
Falsehood! This is just not honest, my evolutionary friends. The 98% of the DNA that we share with monkeys. Now, did that not make it sound like all the DNA in your body, 98% of it matches? That is so inaccurate. It is only the protein DNA, which is, I believe, approximately 1% of the DNA that you have in your body. 98% of the 1% matches. Oh, that's different, isn't it? Ay, 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 ay. All of this in an effort to prove that you are a monkey's uncle and that we evolved. Wait a second. Hold on a second. I'm getting a news story in my ear right now. Uh-huh. Yes. At a church. Really? Okay. This is embarrassing. Wow. I have been way too severe and way too critical of the ABC report. Well, apparently, monkeys, well, they do communicate.
Tom in the Box reports the interdenominational Riverside Church in New York City, until recently pastored by Dr. James Alexander Forbes, Jr. But Forbes' recent retirement brought the need to search for a new pastor. Numerous resumes and applications were examined until finally the committee just found the, quote, right person for the job. Coco, the talking gorilla. Coco, the 36-year-old gorilla, famous for supposedly being able to communicate with humans through the use of American Sign Language. While some have questioned as to whether or not Coco has truly developed the ability to have independent cognitive thoughts, many herald her accomplishments as a major breakthrough in connecting humanity with its evolutionary past. Coco gladly accepted the call to pastor the church, signing the phrase, I for kitten, apple, 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 in the sky, apple, which was interpreted by her translator to mean, I gladly and wholeheartedly accept this gracious opportunity to lead this congregation on the pathway of faith. Coco preaches her first sermon next Sunday. A translator will be present at every service to interpret her sign language, and Coco will be rewarded with bananas after every message.
My apologies to Charles Gibson and everybody at ABC. I didn't know that. Promiscuous teleology. That's right. Promiscuous teleology is the headline that only Albert Mohler at his blog could write and have people actually read it, citing a shocking study from some non-creation believing psychologists at Yale University. You can find this at albertmohler.com. This is one of those websites. Really, it's worth having on your little clicky-click deal. I don't want to use the technical term because I don't know it. But whatever you do to make, the websites that you check out every day, Albert Mohler, always a wonderful read. A pair of psychologists at Yale are explaining why so many people in America reject the evolutionary theory. Don't forget, the majority of the people in this nation believe that God was involved in creation. 47% believe that it was done pretty much the way we see it today in less than 10,000 years ago. That's 47%. If you add onto that those people who believe God were involved in some sort of process in the creation, we're definitely the majority. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. These people do not believe that we were created. They are evolutionists themselves, and they're not happy. with the whole creation thing that's happening. And by the way, once again, let me remind you, please be praying for Answers in Genesis. Their museum started up on Monday, on Memorial Day, and I do believe 4,000 visitors attended the first day, picketers. Edwin Kagan, he's one of the American evolutionists. I believe he's with Ellen Johnson's organization. Edwin Kagan stated, just, this creationism, they're Nazis. This is child abuse. You know, why do atheists care at all? Why don't they just let the other cosmic goo be? Why do they have any concern about what we teach about creation? Oh, yeah, I remember. They got an axe to grind with God.